call meeting to order pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law GL 30A 18 and the governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Hubbardston Board of Library Trustees will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town website. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access proceedings in real time via Zoom. In the event that we are unable to do so despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website a comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. Okay. Hi, everyone. So I'll just repeat, Johanna Henning is not joining us for the meeting tonight. And we start with director's report.
Oh, Chris must be muted.
Oh, Chris, am I muted? Do I have you muted? Hold on, Chris.
My apologies. I thought I had unmuted myself.
Okay.
So I had sent this copy to everybody already, but I'm reading it for the purposes of recording it, okay? So Director's Report, January 7th, 2021. We had 18 people for curbside pickup, which is the same as the previous month in November. Patrons went up from 88 to 96. Our Facebook totals, our page views went down in December to 56. I really didn't post too much on December, so that kind of makes sense. But the post reach keeps going up. So in December, it was 531 compared to 446 in November. Our total page likes has gone up. November, it was 634. December is 637. So I like that. Page followers is also going up, 696 in December from 691 in November. Wi-Fi connection was around 40, which is a little bit higher, but when we're open full time, we usually run around the 80s. So take that for what you will, but people can access the Wi-Fi. It was a quiet month for us. The Royal Steam Company came in and assessed our heating system, then returned on December 30th to 2020 to repair a number of items broken with our heating system. The temperature is now around 70 degrees Fahrenheit in the library, and the pump is now working with no leaks. The tech recommended that we have an electrician come in to program the water power switch, which I should have put that in, which controls the amount of water the boiler should receive. He says that right now it is programmed to let the water into the boiler for running for 10 minutes, which is far too long. It'll flood the boiler at that time of, that's just too much water for it. So I'll contact Ryan to see who we use as an electrician and have them come in. Curbside pickup remains steady at 18, while the patrons coming into the library had a slight increase. We are beginning to weed the nonfiction collection because we're running out of shelf space. These discards will be available for purchase at a book sale in early summer. We weeded the large type collection and brought the discards to the senior center so the seniors can borrow them. I will be setting up a weeding schedule that will go throughout the year so we're not inundated with discards all at once. Below that, in the next page, has the breakdown of the library accounts and how much we've expended up to this date. It's not a monthly thing, it's a cumulative. And then down at the bottom, there are the available funds for foundation and the long range plan and the trust funds that we have available. There's also, oh, there's something missing. I'm sorry. I'm not quite sure why on my document it says this. Oh, I take it back. I have two further accounts which are not in the spreadsheet itself, but they're listed below. One is the library roof from the 2018 annual town meeting. There's a balance of $38,000 in that. And then there's an account that I don't know what it is. It's the library band payment from the 2020 annual town meeting for $21,895.40. And that is the extent, that's the end of the director's report.
What was that? The library, the 20,000 or the 21,000, the library?
I have no idea what it is, but it is on the town budget, and it's the library band payment. And apparently the references to the annual town meeting in 2020.
Okay,
So I don't know what that is, but it's there.
I guess we could, okay. I guess we'll look into
These are money still in the account. I mean, I thought the roof was already paid.
It was paid. I think this is the excess amount that we had available.
Oh.
And I think that's supposed to go back to the CPA, but I'm uncertain about that one. Tom might be able to give us further information on that one.
I think you're right, Chris, but let me ask Ryan about it and I'll report back.
Should this go in the minutes, anything about these budget items, or?
I mean, it's in Chris's report. So
yeah, so I mean, I've emailed it to you.
Yeah. No, I know, but
So
I mean, these two things that we have questions about.
Oh.
You can. It can.
Okay. We'll find out more about these accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Certainly when you do that, Krista, it helps me with remembering what to do at the next meeting or what to check into at the, or what to, you know, what goes on the agenda. So,
okay.
I appreciate
Yeah, I'm not going to copy that whole chart. I just, these two things we have questions about.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Were there any questions about the director's report?
I have a comment. Chris, the electrician who's been worked in our building in the past is a guy named Greg Goldsmith out of Barry.
Oh, that's right. I'm embarrassed. I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's okay.
I will give him a call.
Here's his number, 508-735-8523. He's very
right,
good.
Gary Goldsmith.
Greg Goldsmith.
I'm sorry.
From Barry, Massachusetts.
Got it.
Or maybe it's Barry Goldsmith from Greg, Massachusetts.
Very funny, Tom. So Chris, I don't want to mention the next thing if you're still writing. I can't tell if you're still.
I am all done.
Okay. So you had emailed me about, was it Rhonda Hamer?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so this probably,
all about that.
I wanted to include that here just to include it here basically.
Yep. All right. I actually wrote this down. Thank you for reminding me. So Rhonda Hamer is a former trustee, former employee, former, but current patron of the library. She really loves it. And, but she also works at Fitness Concepts. And what they're looking to do is to have an outreach program, and they would like to utilize the library for this. And what she's hoping to do is have some sort of Zoom program, or if it gets better in the spring, have an actual in-person thing, probably like towards the end, mid-April, towards the end of April. So it could possibly be done outside. A 1-hour program returning to exercise, because a lot of people are very sedentary. And if they try to jump back into exercising again, they might get hurt, and that would just, you know, cancel everything that they're trying to do. This would be a free program, or you have an alternative with a 4 to 6 weeks paid program that teaches people how to run, or even a a 5K training program, which would tie into our 5K road race. We haven't made any decisions on that yet. I'd have to check the broadband speed to make sure that our Wi-Fi could handle it. I think it can. I think we're like at 100 megabytes per second, so that should not be an issue. let's see, 4 to 6 week program, could have Rhonda on Zoom, long-term, yeah. And that's pretty much the extent of it. I had sent an email to Josephine with a couple of links. The only things that I'm uncertain about is what kind of liability would apply to the library for this. And a couple of the articles that I saw, some town councilors offer, you know, say if you just have a waiver or an awareness that that you're accepting all risks by participating in this, that should cover it. But I'll check that with Ryan to make sure that that is also applicable for our town.
You know, and typically I think someone, I don't know if she's working for herself or working for Fitness Concepts, but they would have insurance to cover things. I don't know if we want to look into it, into that kind of detail. I kind of feel like we probably should. I don't, you know, I don't want anyone to get hurt, and I don't want anyone to.
Question: how is the actual library used? I don't hear it in the description. I thought if it's a Zoom.
I'm sorry. If it were to be done in a Zoom situation, we would have her come in and set up in the children's room so that she would be physically there, and that would give us the link to outreach for people in town. The alternative is if it's nice and it's outside, she could do it out on the front yard.
But if I understand it correctly, she's the only one in the library.
She would be the only one in the library, correct?
Oh, okay.
Unless
during regular hours?
Chris,
I'm sorry, I missed that, Tom.
During regular hours or in our closed period?
It could be in our closed period. I'm trying to be there during the off hours so that I can get work done that I can't normally get done when people are there. So that would not be a problem.
Well, I'm listening and I don't see a problem, but maybe I'm naive.
I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page about this, because part of our strategic plan was to offer more adult programs through the library, and this would be a good tie-in to get a program that is adult oriented out towards the patrons, and it would help us with our strategic plan, which would make MBLC happy.
Well, then I think the right way to do that is to support you properly and not have you hanging out there, is for the trustees to vote on it. And
for the trustees to vote on it, did you say, Tom?
Yes, that would put us all in formal agreement, and it would relieve the responsibility off Chris, so that she can't be accused of acting unilaterally.
Oh.
So I'd make a simple motion. We let Chris arrange with Rhonda to do this in what we think is off hours, and we grant permission.
So can I just add a couple of things? First, I don't think she can charge for the running program through the library.
Okay.
Right? Isn't that true?
I'm fairly certain that's the case, because but this is the first time I've come up with it on this particular type of situation.
Yeah, I think if she got a grant through like the Mass Cultural Council to do the running program at the library, that would be a better. I don't think she can charge a fee at the library.
Well, I think you can charge a fee for programs, but I think it would be less likely that people would participate. Like, it's not really a library thing if the money is going to her,
I think maybe you could do something like, maybe it's free, and perhaps they could offer then maybe a discount to Fitness Connect as a way to try to, like, after the 6 weeks end, then people might consider joining as well. So I mean, it could be just a marketing thing for them, like whether it's a discount or whether or not. I think it's free marketing for them if they're willing to put in a little bit of effort to do it. Yeah. I also think too, maybe like if they got a group of people, like I'm kind of intrigued about the running thing. because it does tie into the road race. And then if you had a group of people who's kind of signed up for that, then maybe they could be, Fitness Connection could be listed as a sponsor or something for the road race as well, just to give them a little bit of free additional publicity, you know, as a thank you for giving this 6-week session.
What kind of money would we be talking about? Someone signs up for an hour-long Zoom session on how to learn how to run. What would that be?
Well, it's my understanding that this would be more of a summer program as opposed to a spring program, because you'd want it started in the summer, and then they'd have, you know, June, July, and August to train to be ready for the 5K road race in September. So there wouldn't be a Zoom portion of it. This would be a more face-to-face. But if I'm wrong on that one, I will clarify that with Rhonda, and I will let you guys know.
And then I think that fits really well with what Connie said about marketing. So she could do the free thing, the free Zoom at the library, and then market her or advertise her running and make the connection with the road race. Connie, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead, Connie.
It's a wild idea. If anybody thought this was a really good thing to help promote our road race, we could get a discount on the entry fee or something like that to incentivize participation in the road race.
I mean, sometimes I think you have to pay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You have to pay presenters, you know, for programs. Like the library would pay her, for example, to put these things on, rather than the, you know, participants having to pay, you know, each of them to pay to participate. Like maybe there could be a follow-up that they could, you know, arrange with her, or these other ideas. But, you know, if we think it's really a useful thing, you know, maybe we could use some of our funds to pay for it.
That's a good idea, rather than having participants pay for, if it supports the road race.
I was going to say, especially if it ties into the road race.
Morgan, can you repeat that? I don't know. I'm hearing everything very low tonight.
I was going to say, especially if it ties into the road race.
Yeah.
All right, I'm writing all this down.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So do we still want to have a motion to approve for Chris to negotiate or arrange, see what could be arranged for this type of program? Or do we want to get more information?
I personally would love to find out more about, like, if there are any insurance or liability concerns before we vote. I don't know how everyone else feels about that. I know I make a big deal about stuff like that, but.
Well, could we make a motion for Chris to explore liability and potential programming related to the road race, or related to exercise and running?
Sure.
I would move to make a motion for Chris to explore the opportunity and the insurance requirements to offer a program related to exercise and running.
I second it.
Okay.
So
we need the person's name in here.
Rhonda Hamer.
Okay, thank you.
So I think we have to vote out loud though, sorry, because so let's see. Connie, yay or nay?
Yay.
Morgan?
Yay.
Krista?
Yay.
Tom?
It looks like Tom dropped off.
We lost him? Oh, let me see if there's anything I can do about that. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Yep, he's not trying to get back in again, so.
So with the 4 of us, we're still a quorum.
Yeah, correct? So I'll vote against then, and I'll say my name because I'm not Ryan. Josephine Amato, yes. And we'll wait for I guess we can just keep
And then
moving
Krista?
forward. Krista?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, he's back. Hold on. Okay, he should be back in a second. Tom, are you back?
He's on mute.
He's on mute.
I think I should be back, huh?
Okay, you're back. Tom, yay or nay on the motion that's on the table?
Well, I never heard the motion.
Oh, you didn't hear any of it? Okay, Connie.
The
go.
last thing I heard was I said, are we going to give this thing a green light?
Okay, well, we'll do that again then. I mean,
Well, just read the motion.
yeah, Krista, will you read it back to us?
Okay, motion to approve Chris, it's a little rough here. Motion to approve Chris to explore liability issues and explore options for exercise and race training programs with Rhonda Hamer.
Okay, so we had 4 yays. Tom, how do you vote?
Yay.
Okay,
Is that good enough for the wording of the motion? I mean, I can listen to the video later.
it said, I think, what it needed to, so.
Okay.
Okay, so. Chris, were there any other programs or library events that you wanted to talk about?
Not at this time. We did the senior thing yesterday, so I'll talk about that next month.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so if there are no other questions about the director's report or the upcoming event that we're checking into, we'll move on to the December 3rd. I wrote 2021 in my agenda. Oops, I moved ahead in time. So let's vote to approve the December 3rd, 2020 minutes. Did everyone get the chance to read them? And okay, so who wants to make the nomination? The motion.
Make the motion to approve the minutes from December 3rd meeting.
Okay, so Connie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Krista?
Yes.
Tom?
Tom Robinson, yes.
Josephine Amato, yes. Okay. Thank you, everyone. So, Tom, do you want to move into the CPC or the CPA application, how that's going, and if you need any assistance or whatever's going on with that?
Okay, it's going good, I think. I have a paperwork correction. The document that I gave you as page 1, I think, contains a whole bunch of photographs of windows, physical, you know, up fences,
Oh,
up and
yes,
down
yeah.
windows. And it wasn't supposed to. All you really need is page 1, the
Okay.
first 8.5 by 11 sheet. And then there should have been a page 2, which I think is, as transmitted to you, is fine. And then there was another document called the main floor library main floor rehabilitation. That would be the other CPA applications. So we have 2 applications. One is page 1 without all those photographs attached to it. Page 2, dated January 7th, where I go through quite a wordy description of what's going to happen. And attached to that was the Johnson engineering report. That we probably review right now. And then there's the second application for the main floor work. And I have an application in my back pocket, which I haven't submitted, for the windows, because I think the windows are some of the last thing we do rather than the first thing we do. It could actually wait until next year.
Oh,
Next year.
So are you submitting the application for the 18 for the corner repair? Is that?
Yes, with review and approval by this August group, I was going to submit the page 1 without all those photographs, the CPA project application which describes the northeast corner and the foundation assessment, and the extension to include repointing places on the building where the mortar has been eroded out over the years. That was going to be asking the town CPA guys for $20,000 and us kicking in $5,000 for a total of 25, and that includes a 10% contingency. So the target price is like $22.50. We have left over from prior CPA funds. We have left over 13. Oh, I thought it was 18. I think I had my numbers mixed up.
Is it the 21,000? What do we?
No, I think, I thought the CPA funding from prior years was 15,000.
Mm-hmm.
And we used up 3. I'm gonna have to check that with Ryan. Or unless somebody here knows. Here's what I'm doing. I'm looking at page 2 and I'm reading the top of it. Anybody have that in front of them?
So not this one. I was I thought that
Yeah,
was
that one.
that one. Oh, okay. I thought it was the project.
Okay, when you say page 2, I'm really confused, Tom. I'm just trying to take the minutes. So is that this?
In the document's name, it says CPA application foundation something something, and then it says page 2, PG 2.
Okay, I get it.
In the title of the document or the file name.
So this is the second application.
Well, it's the one that is on the. That's the right one.
That's the right one. This one.
That's the right one.
Okay.
$20,000.
Are we submitting 2?
Yes. This one, and then forget all this stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
All these other pages are gone.
Photos. Okay.
And then there's one more page, which came in separately, and it had a big long title with page 2 in it.
Okay. Hold on.
It was on the same email.
Yeah. Okay. So the 2 we're submitting are attached to your email.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is the one. Oh, that was it.
That was it?
Yeah. No, back. It was up here a minute ago. I think Josephine had it up.
This one.
That one. That one.
Okay.
That's what I call page 2 of the first application.
Oh, I see. So the application page where you had checked off, that's page 1, and this is page 2 of that.
Of the same application.
Yeah, so minus all the photography and anything, all the photographs.
Yeah, there's no pictures with this thing. They got stuck on there by mistake. My
Okay.
error. Now this thing
Okay,
says.
so this is page 1, right?
Got
So
it. 20,
is that
amount
grant
request.
1 and this is grant 2?
No,
No.
I think this is one application. This is the first page.
Yeah, I
and
should have written
and this is the
notes on
second page.
That's page 2.
Okay.
It goes with the one you just had up. Now this
I
one
get
is
it. Okay.
a little complicated because we had money to do this foundation from prior years.
Okay.
So I made a comment here. The existing project, back up. The existing project has some money, and I'll have to confirm that $18,000. I'm not sure where I got that. And we've spent $3,000 on this Johnson Engineering Company, and then we have some money left over from the old days.
So the question is really how much money we have left over from the previous project that we can move to this project.
That's right. We want to combine them.
Okay.
And then down the next part of it says new application. So this is the $20,000 new application, and it does all this work that the original project didn't do.
Okay.
And down at the bottom, I got a little budget thing there that says that the whole thing is $25,000 and we need $20,000 more, and we'll kick in $5,000 for a total of $25,000, combined with the old money.
Okay.
That doesn't include the old money. It's going to get combined with the old money.
So for a total of like $42,000 or $43,000?
Well, whatever, 25 and
25 and 18
And-
or 15.
yeah, 15 or 18. I'm not sure which the right number is. Does anybody know? Does anybody remember? Okay,
Look
I'll
back
check
at the minutes or.
I gave this to Ryan, so we'll go over it before I put it into the CPA. And assuming you guys like this idea. Basically, the man from Johnson Engineering came out and said, yeah, we can fix the corner, but this building needs more work. And he described a whole bunch of more work, which I had in here in the project description section. Dig up more of the foundation and fix that, and go inside and fix some bubbly water penetration at the bottom of the foundation in that famous northeast corner there where the boiler is.
Mm-hmm.
And then go up, get a man lift and go up on the sides of the building and fix places that need pointing. Pointing means goes along with a abrasive wheel and cuts out the little sliver of mortar between the bricks and then replaces that mortar with new mortar and builds it up to kind of like a as new condition.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about this project is I was advised a long time ago that CPA likes to see the some shared funding, some cost sharing.
Mm-hmm.
So I put $5,000 library money in with $20,000 of their money. And it's kind of all tax money. Well, no, it isn't really. The CPA money comes from real estate transactions. And I just did this deliberately. I chose a library Fairman trust fund income of $5,000. Now you guys might not want to do this, but what I'm thinking is that money's been sitting there for years and years and years, and it's earning like 0.75% or something. I think the fees on the fund is higher than the interest earned. And so I would like to try to spend some trust fund money so that we understand how to do it. This is a test case.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose the Fairman Fund because it has a lot more than $5,000 in it. I think it has a $15,000 or $16,000 in it. And you can spend the income, but you can't spend the principal. And this would not touch the principal. We could very easily change this and say, let's just use the race fund, for instance. But we always use the race fund.
Yeah.
So I thought, hey, let's try a Fairman Trust. If for some accounting reason or some reason we get shot down, we can always revert to the race fund money. So there's two things here.
Mm-hmm.
You guys like the idea that we kick in some library money with the CPA money because I think that's what the CPA likes. And I think it's also fair. I think it's a good idea. And then the second question is, do we want to use Fairman or do we want to use race?
So do you know, so Tom, if I remember correctly, some of the trusts, they have specific purpose, like each trust has a purpose?
That's right.
Okay, so is this the Fairman Trust, does it have a purpose?
Let me get my little document.
I'm pretty sure it was like beautification or
Okay.
something that this would be relevant to.
Okay.
So this first one, I thought we already got approval. That's how we had the money. So, but are we still submitting two applications? I guess I have to wait till Tom comes.
You mean the money that is already kind of sitting there?
Yeah, so the existing project, we're submitting an application for the existing project and for this follow-up project.
So
Is that what you were saying?
No.
Go ahead.
No, we have the existing money.
Okay, okay.
The only question is, I guess I don't know how much it is, but I thought it was 15, but I wrote down 18 and now I'm a little confused. I'll have to go talk to Ryan and see what the numbers
In the
are.
past, you were saying 18, but I don't know if that's
How distant past?
like at a previous meeting.
Oh, all right. Then maybe maybe a quick phone call to Ryan will confirm me. But let's, so is that okay? Everybody understand that much?
Yes.
All right. Then you go into the trust funds, and I'm having trouble putting my finger right on the words, but I sent this out to everybody at an earlier time. Let me find it. Let me just say that it is compatible with the purpose I'm proposing. And I think I heard somebody say it was
Beautification, Krista said.
yeah, beautification for the town. Got a bunch of little handwritten notes. I don't know if you guys remember, I sent this around.
Yeah, I can try to look it up.
Here it is. Here it is. Income to be used, income, not principal. So income to be used as directed by her will, namely the interest of which is to be used annually for beautifying the center of the town. Now, we've never spent a dime of it, so we haven't kept the annualness of this. But beautifying the center of the town, the library is, I think, the beauty spot of the town.
Is there a definition for that? Because to me, beautification of the town, I'm not disagreeing. I just don't want to do something that doesn't fit the trust. So beautification is like when we used to put flowers down for Memorial Day, or Jane would, the boxes out front with flowers, or the bench.
Well, that might be a legitimate other purpose for it, but that doesn't delegitimize this purpose.
So beautifying the building.
Well, not only the building, but this purpose, if you read some of the description up here, we're going to be regrading the front lawn. We're going to reseed it. We're going to replant it. We could put in plants, as opposed to just grass. We could have somebody come in and recommend some plantings, because it's going to get pretty dug up.
Okay.
And if someone says they want flowers for Memorial Day and we choose to use this fund to do that, I think that's perfectly legitimate too.
Okay. So, so do we want to have a discussion about whether the library wants to use the trust income to be included as part of this grant, or does anyone have any questions, or anyone want to comment on that? Everyone okay with that?
The only thing I have a reservation about is, and I would have that whether it be race funds or trust funds, is I don't know how the accounting is done. If, for instance, the CPA puts 20 in the bucket and the Chairman Trust puts 5 in the bucket, and we end up spending a lot less than we expect, how do you divvy the bucket up to get some of your money back that you didn't spend, and then the town gets some of it, or the CPA guys get some of their money back that we didn't spend? Once put together in a bucket, how do you take it back apart if you don't spend it all?
Is it something that could be included in this doc as part of the application, as to what we would do with if there was money left over from the $5,000? What would happen with it?
Well, I don't know if we have to put it in the document, but I'm just going to ask Ryan what the accounting procedure is.
Okay. I was going second. I think maybe Ryan would be able to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's vote on this if no one has any questions or comments. Or Tom, before we do that, the meeting, is it a Zoom meeting or is it an in-person meeting?
What meeting?
The CPC committee, the committee.
I don't think it's an in-person meeting. I thought they were kind of outlawed.
Okay.
From the governor has put out a letter back in March that said you should do it some other way.
Zoom, okay.
But I don't know. They haven't posted it yet. I think it's January
11th or
a week. I think it's a week from now. I said it in my latest letter to Ryan.
Mhm.
I think it's the 14th.
Okay. So it will probably, you'll submit this and they'll probably have a Zoom meeting where we might have to attend and support our application.
In the past, Judy MacArthur, I think, and sometimes me, and sometimes another person,
Me,
all attended. Was it you, John?
yeah.
And we all attended and pitched the project and got their approval, answered questions.
Yeah, so, okay, so, well, let's, I guess, find out from them what, whatever they're doing about that, whether we need to attend on the 14th. Tom, did we lose you? No, okay. So
I'm
let's,
sorry, I just
I
hit
thought
my head out of the screen.
Oh, I thought I went.
Your room is very dark.
Yeah, all we see is your white on your, and
I'm going for the Rembrandt look.
you're doing it.
Yeah, I was thinking that. So trustees may need to attend the meeting. Is that what you were saying? And
Well,
you'll let us
one
know.
of-
if they
one
did.
or two of us probably would be beneficial to attend. I mean, they typically support the library, but we don't know how many others are putting in applications. How many others are putting in applications, and they might have questions for us.
Yeah, you want an opportunity to pitch it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, and there's a lot of information here, Tom, so you did a great job researching it,
Oh.
going info down. Yeah.
As Joanna once told me, I have trouble being concise.
She told you that?
What was the word she used, Mary? It was some word that said, I said too many words.
Okay. So do we need to vote to allow this to keep moving forward?
I think so, yeah. We either approve, modify it. Feel free to edit me up and make comments or whatever it is.
It was pretty clear.
Yeah, and I think the only thing in question is the $18,000, whether that's accurate. So I think that's the only thing we really have to make sure that that's the amount.
So if we approve this, would we approve it with you giving me permission to modify it to whatever Ryan tells me? If 18 is true and we've spent 3, then that 12,000 becomes 15,000.
Yep. Okay.
And the money in the bank, so to speak, to get all this done would be the 15,000 and the 20,000 and the 5,000. So that would be $40,000 to get the whole shebang done.
Okay. So go ahead. Let's go ahead and make the motion, and unless anyone has questions.
Can I just read what I have here? It's a CPA project application follows on previously funded project to repair the library building foundation and is based on recommendations of the Johnson Engineering Report. The application requests $20,000 and will use $5,000 from the Fairman Trust. Tom will consult with Ryan to clarify how much money is left over from the initial grant, and also to find out if it costs less, would we be able to get some of the library money back? Is that?
That sounds very good. Just say that the 20,000 plus 5,000, not 20. The 20,000 doesn't include 5,000. It is the 20,000 plus 5,000
with an additional. Okay. Okay.
How does everybody feel about using the trust? Are we making it needlessly complicated? We could just grab the money out of the race fund, and we never have any trouble doing that.
I thought your point about trying it out, I mean, it seems to fit with the purpose of the trust, and trying out to see how it works. I think seems like a good idea, but what do I know?
I agree. And I think that if it doesn't, then we can fall back on race money, right?
That's what I'd do, yep.
Mhm.
I agree as well. And it seems to fall in line with our meeting a couple of months ago where Ryan was talking about the money we have in our trust funds and that we
Yeah.
might want to utilize them as appropriate. So it makes sense.
Agreed.
If we get shut down and we can't use it, then we got to figure out what these funds are all about if you can't use them. So.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I propose a motion that we proceed in verifying, one, if we can use the trust funds to see how much, and verify the funds if it was the 18,000, and to proceed if possible.
And
I will second that.
Could you give me permission to change it at the last minute here before we submit it to the CPA? Because I don't want to have to come back and have another library trustee meeting.
Yeah.
And contingent if it does not fall in line with the trust funds, that we use our race funds as a backup.
Okay, so along with that, contingent that some of these figures might have to be modified based on what Tom finds out. Is that?
Yeah, adjusted accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah.
Well, understand my intention. It's after tonight when you guys approve this, I take it to Ryan, clean it up in any way he requires, and get it off to the town clerk, who has to make copies and distribute it to the CPA people in a week.
Okay. So, Krista, can I ask you to read that back to us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, again, it's rough, so help me out with this. A motion to proceed to verify if we can use the Fairman funds and to verify how much is left from this previous, I'm confused about whether it's a CPC or CPA grant application.
It's CPA.
CPA. Okay, so motion to proceed to verify if we can use the Fairman funds and verify how much is left from the previous CPA grant application.
You know what I would do? I'm so sorry, but I would use Tom's words that are in this document just to keep it the same. So he has existing funding. I would use that existing funding, or
sure,
CPA funding total 18,000 from prior years or something.
How
like
much
that.
Existing funding remains. Okay, but there's nothing in here about the actual application.
Exactly. So we want to name, so existing project foundation assessment and northeast corner repair.
So should that be first? Motion to approve the application and then verify?
I think so. I think you would say motion to approve the application and then put in the contingencies after it. You know.
With.
How about modify, approve the application for the foundation work. Mary, approve the application for the foundation work and a subject to funding amounts and sources confirmation.
Okay.
Does that work for everybody?
Yeah. With verification of funding amounts and sources. Okay.
And is that, do we want to, is the project named in the motion? Is it?
It's foundation.
Motion to
is that enough? Foundation? Okay.
I'm looking on your screen here. Extension of existing foundation project. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. All right. I just wrote new application, but I'll take the title from there when I clean these up. So motion to approve the new application with the right title, subject to verification of funding amounts and sources.
Does that sound good to everyone? Okay.
Okay. So Connie made the motion.
Morgan did, I seconded.
Sorry, Morgan. Okay, sorry.
Okay. So let's vote. Connie Strittenmeyer.
Aye.
Morgan.
Aye.
Tom.
Aye.
Krista.
Aye.
And Josephine, aye. Okay. Thank you.
Tom, it looked really clear. I mean, I don't know anything about any of this stuff, but you made it very clear, so thank you.
In case I get run over by a truck, you guys keep going.
Let's hope not.
Okay. Whew. Okay, so Tom, keep in touch. Let us know if you're attending, if you want any assistance at the meeting. I can be there.
Well, we're not done yet.
When we're done.
There's a second application.
Oh my goodness, okay.
I thought that's what you said, but I was confused about that.
This is the thing that I'm going to title it Library Main Floor Rehabilitation.
Okay.
It's the first page. It's a document that's all together in my email. There it is. There it is. This should be a 3-page document. The amount requested is $10,000. We're going to kick in $2,500 from the library donation fund for a total of $12,500, and it's got a 10% contingency in it. It is designed to pick up all this stuff that we've been trying to do for years.
Okay.
Go up to the top of page 2, please.
Did you email
right
that
there.
to us?
Yes, I did.
Okay, let me see if I can.
It was it's a 3-page standalone application document.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the director's office is extremely cramped. There's a request for a bookcase and see if we can figure out some way to modify the space to get Chris a little more workable place.
Got it.
Then there's the children's room lighting. We've always said we want to take out the fluorescent tubes and put in 3 globy type things. And I just showed a picture of it, but we can get somebody to tell us what to use in there for the right number of lumens per square foot or whatever they tell you to do.
Mm-hmm.
But notice that in the ceiling, that picture's upside down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll fix that. Notice that in the floor, there's 3 electrical boxes. Actually, the ceiling. There's 3 electrical boxes. So we'll put one of these lamp deals on each one of those electrical boxes. We don't have to do any fancy wiring. We're just putting in fixtures.
Okay.
But we got to pick them out. Then there's
Question. I'm
yeah.
sorry. On the children's room, is there only 1 strip or are there 2 strips of light?
There's only one.
Okay.
Right down the center.
It's been so long, I forgot.
Yeah.
It's true, Morgan. It's true.
Whoever has that on the screen could grab that picture and flip it upside down. And
Can I? Let's see. I can't because I don't actually have it open.
okay, never
Me
mind.
to take the time to do that?
I'll fix it.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened.
So that light fixture is a lot like the one in the main room, but shorter. The one you have on the right there. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I got it from Westminster's library, but they don't make them anymore.
Oh.
I got it out of the catalog, and they're really nice lights if you ever go down to the Westminster 2nd floor.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll find something. Let's just get the money and we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Maybe the electrician has some ideas, or maybe another library has some ideas. Anyway.
I want to ask a question about the lighting, but I don't want to interrupt you if there's more.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the Green Communities Act, the Green Communities, whatever it's called, lighting and lighting fixtures are a part of that. Did you? So that's, I don't know if you knew that, but that was part of my research for tonight. So yeah, lighting upgrades is a part of the Green Communities deal, and we are involved in that. So I don't know, how everyone feels about that, or how the town will feel about that, or how the CPC will feel about that. What are your thoughts? If we're bringing in lighting and it's already as part of the Green communities.
Do they have money sitting there, and how do we get our hands on it?
Well, I mean, it's part of FY, is it 20? I have the capital plan, so we can look at it more clearly, and I don't really want to go based on my memory, but I think that deal is part of the 2021 that year. But
Yeah.
I can bring that up once we're done with this.
I see. We got pushed out several years.
Yeah, we did. We did.
And I don't remember exactly what happened, but now that you mention it, I do remember that discussion.
So lighting upgrades, so I was going to get to this after this. I don't know if we want to table it for now and come back to it, but FY 2022 in the capital plan, it does say lighting upgrades for various departments, and that makes me believe, yep, it's the green community stuff. So it's slated for 2022, and it's for hopefully all the departments, including us in Hubbardston. And when I emailed Ryan, he did send me back an email about, you know, what the upgrades are and what the requirements are of the green communities. And so it looks like it's 2022 lighting.
Well, if we're satisfied waiting that long, that's fine. We've been waiting a long time.
Yeah.
But you know, this project is probably $200 fixtures, 3 of them, and about the same to put it in. So maybe it's a $1,300 project.
Mm-hmm.
We have to ask ourselves if we want to make progress or if we want to be paced by the various granting things, because we can just take this out of the race fund and get it done.
Well, I mean, I guess we could have a discussion about it, because, you know, my thinking is also like, it's hard to get funding. It's hard to get money, even from the CPC. Like they're stretched thin a lot of the times, or the CPA grant is stretched thin. So, you know, what my thinking is, what will the questions be if they know that there's a green communities plan to upgrade lighting and we are asking for lighting? That's why I brought it forth. And
well, it's very good. What I would do would be say, okay, take $1,200 off the request.
But then we're limiting, okay, because it's just one light or a couple of light fixtures.
Well, no, take $1,200 off the CPA request if they say, oh, you got to go get that money from someplace else.
Okay.
Or we say, we'll take $1,200 off and we'll kick it in ourselves and do it. You know, get it done. I guess I grow a little impatient. But,
could I suggest that we for each bullet point we put in the approximate cost, and then put the children's room lighting at the very end, so it's not the first thing that they see, and that they look at the storm windows first if that's more of their priority.
Well, somebody's going to say the storm windows come in on the energy efficiency project that's coming in 2057 or whenever it comes in.
Tom.
So are you saying we have money from the race or something that could cover this? Because, well, you know, maybe that would be a way to promote the whole thing. Like, look, you know, money from the race paid for this new lighting, or, you know, it could be something that would be a way to get it done, spend the money, and then encourage people to participate so more things could be done. I don't know.
I admit that this is a catch-all project that has swept up things that have been laying around for a long time and just put them on a list and tried to get some funding for it.
If I can interject, I think possibly checking and prioritizing the windows in some other projects and postponing the lights. I agree about getting it done, but if we can get it done using and utilizing green funds, that might come down the road, and I think within 2 years is a relatively reasonable amount of time. But focus on foundation, definitely, windows, definitely.
And the director's office things are on there too.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Well, if you pick out a fixture, I'll write you a check for this damn thing. I've been looking at these lights for 20 years. You go in there and you listen to them hum, and it's just nuts. Well, anyway, let's scroll down a little bit quicker. And
No,
interior storm windows. Those two windows up there above the work desk don't have any storms on them, and I can just imagine it's a cold air waterfall coming down onto our employees. The next one, I got to bump the bullet to the next page, but it's oh boy, that picture also changed.
There's like an overlap.
Yeah, sideways.
Yeah, but if you notice the top where there's a gray wall that meets a wooden floor, there are actually black sections there. There's actually a hole in the wall.
Here, right?
That needs to be patched up and spackled and painted and cleaned up. And then the other picture is the bottom of a window where the window molding meets the floor and where the molding meets the walls. You stand there and your hair gets blown back. And
children love that.
Well, this is in the senior room.
Oops. Seniors don't.
Us old people, we can't take the draft.
No.
Then the need for the project is just listed as, space and lights and drafts. And then the Massachusetts Historical Commission is the building. And by the way, because it is a historical building and because it is Mass Historical Commission registered, it gets highest priority on CPA funds. So they really shouldn't have any trouble doing this. Okay. And then we're going to do this the same way we do all our wonderful projects with some contractors. And then the budget, if we were before the CPA tonight and they challenge the lights, I'd say, okay, then we'll just do it with our donation fund money, and they can decrease it. And that's it.
Wouldn't people at this meeting know about these other grants? What might be covered,
I would hope so, but I think they only meet about twice a year. They meet once in October.
Oh, I see.
Right. When the money gets quantified and they get an annual report, and then they meet in January to divvy up the money and approve projects, and then the projects go before they turn into a town warrant and they get approved by the town, and then the money flows July 1st for next year. July 1st, 2021 will be when this money becomes available.
Okay, so is that also one that we need to vote on?
Well, if you care to, I mean, I'm putting them out there as proposals, and it's up to the trustees.
Yeah. So, is there any more discussion? I moved quickly, but is there any more discussion on that grant application?
I feel like it's good for the town to see what needs to be done, but I don't know whether we should be submitting two grants if money is tight. I don't know whether that looks good that we're super organized, or Tom is super organized and has this all spelled out, or whether it's makes it look like we have other money we could use, but we're asking them for it.
That is a thing, I think, to think about.
Well, another thing to think about is that when we did the roof, we ended up with $38,000 left over. And I don't know where that goes, but the amount we're asking for is less than that.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess we should find out.
I guess that could be pointed out at the meeting, that we maybe return that money. I don't know.
I don't know if we return it to the CPA or return it to the town, but
and when I've been to those meetings before, people ask for some of the entities in town ask for $100,000. you know, so we're really not, and they will turn us down if they don't. I'm sure they'll do their best to accommodate us and give us what is available. And if they can't accommodate, they'll let us know.
I think we're being pretty conservative compared to what the building actually needs.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, that looked awful, and the building it's only going to get worse and worse. So if we have the ability to repair some of that, maybe we should do it.
Do we need to make sure we prioritize which proposal we want funded first?
Mm-hmm.
We want the foundation to be in the spotlight.
Right. So we just want to make sure that they know that's the priority, and not like say, oh, we'll give you the $20,000 to do lights and not do the foundation.
Yeah.
I think I've got Ryan, or Ryan shares my opinion that foundation's pretty critical. He's been really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So do we have a motion for the second application? I mean, we could put, like, if you're talking to Ryan, you could ask him about, I don't know if he's seen this, like it is a relatively small amount of money. Just ask him about whether he thinks we should ask for it from the commission, or whether we should figure out how to pay for it ourselves. I don't know.
I think, Tom, I think we should go for it. I don't know.
I like the idea of keeping the library in the eyes of the public by having little town votes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we've gone before the town has supported it.
Yep.
Okay.
But if you never ask for anything, you never get anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no harm in asking for it, really.
I'll work on the presentation. I'll clean it up and put the lighting down at the last on the list, and make sure the director's office is the first on the list.
Uh-huh.
Chris.
Thank you.
And I'll clean up the pictures and make sure they go right, and I'll turn them into PDFs so they can't bounce around like this.
Okay. And then did you want to add what the cost was for each of the categories?
No, I'm not that fine-tuned on this.
Okay.
Unless somebody knows something, like I don't know what a bookcase costs.
Oh, I don't know. You just mentioned $1,200 for the lighting. That's all I was.
Just made that up.
You made that up.
Well, no, actually, I looked at the fixtures about a year ago, and they were like $240 or something.
I so
and usually an electrician will, if he's just putting the fixture in, it's about half. It's an hour,
okay.
$100.
All right. So should we make the motion for the library main floor rehabilitation CPA grant application? So we give Tom Tom, what's the word? The ability to update, change.
Well, just reorder and reorient the pictures. Make it.
How about he can finalize the CPC application?
Okay, perfect.
For the library rehabilitation on the first floor.
And represent library trustees in presenting it to and finalizing it.
You let us know when you're ready, Krista.
Okay. So the motion to approve the second application for the library main floor rehabilitation, but then where does this other stuff come in about?
To be finalized and presented.
To be finalized, okay.
To be finalized and presented to the CPA or CPC.
By Tom and presented to the CPC. Okay. Okay, I think I got it.
Okay.
So who's making the motion?
I'll
I'd be
make the
glad.
motion.
Tom? Or
Oh, Morgan.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. I'll second it.
Ready to vote? Connie,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Krista,
Yes.
Josephine, yes. Okay.
Okay.
Another agenda item down. Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, so I think this is next on the agenda. I have a headache and I don't want to keep going back and forth between documents. I'm going to stick here. So, yeah, I think this is just really a looking at, because this is the opportunity the library is being given capital planning wise and money wise. So let me get to the page. Okay, so we are not in FY 2021, are we? Do you see anything in there? Library? Yeah, I don't see anything in there.
Well, did we put anything in?
I thought we did, and I went back to look at the minutes and I couldn't make heads or tails of it. So,
Well, what we had, I have a document from 2019.
okay.
We had the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
We had a $190,000 electrical project.
Mm-hmm.
We had weatherization.
Mm-hmm.
We had the floor of the basement, and we had the building annex roof.
Yep.
Now, we did the roof, but the big one is this electrical infrastructure. And the next biggest one is probably the boiler and the windows.
Okay, so let me just review with you what's in the Green Communities Act, what the town is working on there, because some of that fits in. Okay, so this is what I've just made myself a note. Weatherization, so insulation and crack sealing, lighting upgrades, and there is something in there about the boiler, but what Ryan said was the likelihood of the boiler being a part of getting a boiler through the Green Communities Act doesn't seem likely, because it's not a very, my understanding is that it's not very efficient. And then if you add air conditioning to that, it makes it even less efficient, so that there aren't a lot of options in the Green Communities Act for boilers. He did say if we want to look more into it, he would give us the connect us with the engineer, basically. I said to him, we'll get back to you on that. I don't know if I want to connect to the engineer or if anyone else does. So I'm just putting that out there. It's something to think about, whether we want to connect to the engineer that's involved in the Green Communities Act.
Well, I can't see the whole sheet, but is there electrical?
I didn't see, so okay, I'm going to scroll through it with you all so we can use it. I don't see, here we go. So, do you see
Is FY22 this year or is that next year? Is this 21, 22, or is this 20,
next year.
21?
No, I think 22 is this year. We're in it. We're spending 22 money now.
Yeah, we're in 2021 now, aren't we? Okay, yep. Okay, so do you see anything in here that would imply electric?
Well, you can look under the second column would say library, I think. At least it did for some of the other things.
So yeah, so up here, nothing says library. So it's further down, and in here. So basement flooring replacements for the library, windows replacement. So the years are, I guess this is 2022, 2023, 2024. Let me just, I would imagine. So we have in 2024, windows replacement, in 2023, basement flooring, and also library foundation. And then 2025, I think this would be architect assessment for the library. So I didn't see anything electrical, but okay, so I'm going to keep moving forward. when you let me know when you're ready, because some of you look like you're really looking at it, and I don't want to move forward if you're still looking at
Well,
it.
it's weird that it has windows and we're just putting in a grant for something about windows.
I was just questioning the same thing, and I'm not organized enough to know what the windows on this is referring to.
Yeah, we need Tom to see this page, I think.
Where is Tom? Oh, he's not there. That's okay. I'm going to just scroll ahead. We'll come back when Tom gets there just to see if there's anything else library related here. Boiler replacement is library, but that's the Green Community. I don't know if this will be part of the Green Communities Act. And
well,
then
I think it might be to put in something other than a boiler, right? Like they would want us to switch to some kind of
something
energy
else
that would be more efficient.
So I think this one, various departments, lighting upgrades, that includes the library. This varied facilities weatherization includes the library. And HCS, that's the school. And so I didn't see, let me go on, anything related to electric. Tom, we're going back to this for you because we wanted to.
Yeah. We called it electrical infrastructure of building, and in 2019 it was in year 2, and it was $190,000.
Yeah, so I don't see that anywhere here.
But you see, Tom, it has window replacement.
Yeah, how do we know if that's green money or?
It
Well,
doesn't.
It does, when it is green money, it does say, look, let me show you. So see boiler, green communities, all the way to the right. I don't know how to highlight it.
I can't see it because these people are in the way.
Oh, move the people.
You can move them.
People. Yeah. So
okay.
you'll notice all the way to the right, it does say where that funding, I guess, will come from, or other notes that were important to them. And so these 4 categories are green communities. So lighting upgrades, boiler weatherization. So, and then the windows were further down. No, back up, sorry. Windows, basement windows, or basement flooring.
I see windows replacement.
Yep, and there's nothing under, there's no note there. So it doesn't say Green Communities Act or anything.
Okay, well, we're not, my little proposal to put storms on a window isn't a window replacement.
Right.
That's just a storm window.
Yeah. Just adding storm windows, right?
Yeah, to the inside, like they are on all the other windows except those 2.
Yeah, so so questions?
Well, we got to find the electrical work, because that's it's big and it's important.
I think you'll have to ask Ryan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When we put in capital planning like last year, do we have to put it in every year, or it somehow disappears?
I don't think so.
I would think a 5-year plan sticks for a couple of years anyway.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a question for Ryan, but it would make sense to me that it would stick for the 5 years. I didn't see anything else in here related to electric. So I know I'm going fast, but you all should have access to this. It should have been an email that came to you. So yeah, so I guess we'll ask Ryan the question.
Was this document, I remember seeing it, but was this document sent around for comment, or was this document sent around for information like, here it is?
I think it's a here it is. And it came along with a video, the select board, and I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
I read about it. I didn't pop it open. It was a slideshow.
Okay. Oh, it was a slideshow. Yeah. So I think I sent that.
You might be voting on this at that meeting, right? Isn't it the same group? Or is this I don't know how it works. Is this the town function?
Or is this yeah, this is not the CPC.
Oh.
This is whoever the town entity, probably a bunch of different town entities. Yeah, so. We have to ask about the electric.
I don't see anything on this that would change the submittal we talked about earlier for CPA.
Say that again? You
I don't see anything on this list that would change the submittal of the CPA requests.
For me, it was only about the whether, well, yeah. The lighting, it was about the lighting upgrades. That was the question, because
okay. So the previous capital improvement plan included electrical work for the library, but that is not included in this plan. So you're going to find out about that.
So wasn't the previous plan, it was our input into the plan.
Oh, we requested it.
Yeah. Right? It wasn't in any, it wasn't in any plan ever. I don't remember seeing a capital plan ever before, honestly. Yeah, so the question that you asked, Tom, about the Green Communities Grant was, or Act, is the lighting upgrades.
Yeah, I think we're all right. But I'm sure Chris would agree that the electrical in the building needs some help.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I mean, Chris, would you say that there's a safety issue in the building when it comes to electricity?
It's not it's an old system. The adult reading area has 1, 2, I think maybe 4 plug outlets. And we've got 2 computers, a printer, a shredder, the copier, the water thing, the water cooler, the router, the modem. So if we add anything onto it, like, you know, in the summer when we turn on the portable air conditioner, I can blow a fuse. And yes, it is a screw-in fuse.
Screw-in fuse. Okay.
So
yeah, so I guess it is a question to Ryan to see if we can still get in here when it comes to our electricity in the library. I mean, it doesn't seem safe to me, and the kids' room doesn't seem safe. The hanging lights things aren't safe. There's so much. And there's not enough, right? There's not enough of what's needed in the library. So
I'm fairly, oh, am I still on? Okay. I'm fairly certain that they had an electrician or a couple of electricians come in and do an evaluation of the library building. So I'm guessing that Ryan would have their report as to what they found acceptable and what they didn't. And if I recall correctly, one of the things that they found acceptable is the lighting for exit signs. I think is needs to be improved.
Okay. Tom, how much did you say we asked for? 100 and what thousand for electricity? In
2019, we put proposals on the table, and it's like you say, Joanne, Josephine, we recommended things, but I don't know what actually made it into the plan.
Yeah.
But our recommendation was $190,000 for electrical infrastructure for the building.
For FY 2022?
Well, we put it in 2009 for fiscal year 2019, but I don't know what happened to it.
Okay, so I'll email him, Ryan, by him I mean Ryan, about the report, Chris, the evaluation that was done, and I'll mention the exit signs and that we did request $190,000 put into the capital plan for electrical infrastructure. How's that? I'll do it tonight as soon as we're done.
I think the illuminated exit signs and whatnot are completely separate from the electrical infrastructure.
Okay. Oh.
But I recently, in preparation for tonight's meeting, I asked him, Ryan, please remind me, what is the authorization and funding status of the project that would get illuminated exit signs and other electrical fixtures installed? And he wrote back, you've got funds in the library dog fund, $1,700. Oh. You've got the library race fund or donations fund, as we call it, $21,000. and you've got library state aid of $20,000. Now, what I don't know is what Chris's plans for all that money already is, so that you can't spend it twice.
FYI, I have no plans for that, so whatever you guys want to do, that's fine with me.
Well, we might initiate self-funding from these funds I just listed, the exit signs and whatnot, because as someone mentioned earlier, that might be considered a safety concern.
And it could be could it be the part of the lighting in the Green Communities Act? Is that, you think, a lighting upgrade, or?
I don't think we ought to wait a
Okay.
couple of years to get that. I think we ought to just go ahead and do it.
Okay.
You know,
Once,
oh, sorry.
once again, let me talk to Ryan, figure out how to do it. I'll have an electrician. Or we may even have, Chris, you're right. There were a couple guys from Fitchburg that walked through here and talked about the electrical illuminated exit signs and battery backups and all this stuff. We'll resurrect
emergency lighting too.
Yeah, resurrect that and see what kind of money it was to get all that done, and then maybe pop that project out of this money that I just listed and get it spent before June.
Okay.
The one thing I would say is that the dog fund, we can't use that for improvements. We have to use that for oh, for heaven's sakes, books and DVDs and things like that. I can't think of the word. I'm so sorry.
Media.
Yes, some sort of, yeah, it has to be something for library materials, not not improvements. But the state aid is wide open. There are no restrictions on how you use that.
You know, one thing I noticed about this capital plan, and you know, there was also a survey. I think this town, it seems like they're trying to get a separate, like move the offices out of the library building, right? So some of these things might not, like, it might be better to wait and see how that works out. You know, we're not going to want to upgrade the electrical for the situation now if sometime in the not too distant future there might be more library spaces in that building, and then you would want to do it a different way.
It's all about your definition of distant.
Yeah. I'm just saying they might not think it's a priority if they think they're going to be able to build a whole new building or something.
This town has been pursuing a new building since 1970.
Okay.
Oh no.
Sorry.
When they built the building that the offices are in now, which was originally a school building, it was 4 kindergarten classes, or 2 kindergarten and 2 first grade.
I didn't know that. Well, so I guess we'll check in with Ryan on a couple of questions, but this is where we stand with the capital plan as of right now. Do you think that anything else needs to, because this says proposed, which means we can hopefully make some changes. Anything else that you know, looking here at the list of what we have on the list that you'd like to see be different, or?
I yield to Chris. Anything that you've been dreaming about, Chris, that you might want to invest in?
I don't have any dreams right now, but give me a year and I'm sure I'll come up with something. Right now, the only concern that I have is the electrical. You know, I've been working in the building for 15 years, and you know, it's funny, you kind of get used to stuff. So I'd have to actually sit down and really go walk through the whole place.
Okay.
So maybe we could propose, or if we're trying to give them feedback, that electrical upgrades are really important for library function.
Yeah, so I think we'll start with that report. If we can get that evaluation of when that electrician walked through the building, I don't know when that was, and see what's in there, and then go with talking about the 190,000, or I don't even know where that number came from. So whatever the amount of money we would need for electrical infrastructure.
Let me search for that report.
Okay. You
I
think
remember that I walked through it with the guys, but I
okay.
don't know where I put that report.
Oh, okay. Then I'll wait to hear from you.
No, go ahead and talk to Brian. He might be able to turn it up too.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll send and see. I'm going to CC you in the email, Brian. So just so that if you need to get involved, you can there. Okay. Is there anything else on the agenda? Oh, that anyone wanted to bring up today? I think we had Connie. You sent out that nice email about the grant stuff. Should we just be reviewing that first, or is it something you want to talk about tonight?
No, it's something I really want to talk about tonight, but last month I said I would pull together a list of potential grant opportunities
Okay.
to keep on our radar. So we would have like a calendar. So that's just kind of the start of it.
Okay.
So I don't think we need to talk about it tonight. So,
okay. So I'll give everyone the opportunity. You should all have it. Connie sent it to everyone. I think it's a Google Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give you the opportunity to look it over for February, and then we'll come back and start with some of this back up in February. How's that? So my thinking is to end the meeting. We've gone way further in time than we ever have here during our Zoom meetings. So are there any concerns? Are there any questions? Anything anyone want to bring up before we adjourn the meeting? Okay, well, I want to say thank you for everyone's hard work. Thank you. And also Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Good.
Okay, well, I'll see you all in February. Please continue to email me with stuff to add to the agenda. I really like that. Sometimes I can't remember what should be on the agenda for next month. But I did give Ryan our next 3 dates. So we actually have our next 3 Zoom meetings set up. So there's no stress over that. So
we're all set for February 4th?
And March. Yes, February 4th is the next meeting. So I will adjourn the meeting at 8:38 p.m.